All right, welcome to the 360 production video. So what 360 video is, 360 video is a 360 degrees video. Facebook and YouTube, they've come out with a new format that when you upload the video, you can look around it. So I'll give you a short example. This is Oslo, right? So I can look around in Oslo, and this is a video. So we're just gonna, first thing, I'm gonna try and get a volunteer. I see you've been sitting there the whole time, so you're gonna be the first volunteer to try out 360 video with Samsung gear. You up for it? All right, so glasses off. You can adjust the sight here if it's blurry. And then you look at the play button and you press this button.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. So what he's going to see right now is the VR Oslo intro. I'll talk more about it, so let's just wait.
Do I have to resume?
Yes, that's the resume button. So what he's seeing right now is the video I showed you. And this was a video created for an event in Oslo called VR Oslo, which stands for Virtual Reality Oslo. And this was a 360 production with 360 cameras and motion design on it. Are you still in the Oslo scene?
No, I'm in a shrinking room.
He's just trying the content. So what we're going to learn today is how to create 360 environments and how to edit in 360 environments in After Effects and Premiere Pro. So when you get a 360 shot, you get it flat. It's pretty flat. I'll show you an example. So this is what a 360 shot looks like on a flat screen. It's kind of like warped, and it's super, super wide. And if you're going to edit things in 360, if you just put a text or if you put a box or anything in it, it's going to end up incorrect because it has to warp around a circle. And I'll give you an example. Okay. Let's take this one, for example. All right, this is a 360 shot. Let's try, let's just remove the camera. I'm just going to reopen the shot. Just give me a second. Right. This is the raw 360 shot. And if I'm going to put text, let's just write hello. Make it bigger. All right, hello here. Just gonna pre-compose this. So I'm just gonna put a 360 viewer. Let's go effects. I'll explain the technicalities soon. And if you look around, you see that the text has warped. It's not flat, it's circular. And if you're gonna do motion graphics in 360, you're gonna have to unwarp the 360 shot. And the way to do this is by using a software called Metal Skybox. So let's open up the raw shot and let's unwrap it. All right, was it Oslo? right? This is the shot. Now let's unwrap it. And the way we do this with Skybox Metal is we go to Effects in After Effects, you press Metal, and you press the Skybox Converter. And this format is called rectangular. Sorry, I couldn't pronounce it correctly. But so this is the 360 format. And what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to make it into a cubic map. And the way we do it, please tell if you don't see what's on the screen. You press Cube Map. So now it's unwrapped into cubes. This is like a square. This is what a square looks like. And if you're going to add a text inside this without warping it, you can do this by opening this format, which is the Cube Map format. Yes?
Is this all the information there is in the 3D?
In the 360 shot?
Yeah.
Sorry?
This is all the information there is in this one shot.
Yeah, that's all the information. There's nothing pulled out, but they warp it and make it flat, and pull it out. So we're just gonna let's just add a text layer. Let's put the same hello we had earlier on. And let's just make it go from left to right, just so you can see. All right. All right, it goes from left to right. And what we're going to do is we're going to pre-compose the shot, but leave it cubic. So let's call it cubic. So this is the cubic scene. And we reopen the metal skybox converter, but this time we go from cube map to a rectangular. So now you see that the hello is warped, right, on the flat surface. But when you use the camera, you'll see that it's flat. So let's just try using the camera. So we add a camera. Let's say custom 15 millimeters. And then we add a viewer. Needs to refresh. This happens times to time. Now the reason why this didn't work is because I had the converter and the viewer at the same scene, so we have to redo it, unfortunately. All right. Just gotta make a pause. I have to make a new composition without the converter in it, so call it cubic 1. Like so. Right. Now we go for the viewer, and we add a camera, 15 millimeter. Great. All right, now let's look around by using the orbit camera tool. As you can see, hello is flat and is unwarped. But you're going to notice something funny though. If you go in the cubic map and you start taking from left to right, what's going to happen is that the hello is going to go into a cubic format. So from left to right, it's going to start doing these weird cubic things. So what we're going to have to do now is do it in a different way. We have to make the hello go on a 3D layer. And so what we're going to do is we're going to extract the scene and make it into a cube in 3D planes. Sounds a bit complicated, but it's easier than it looks. So we get visit Oslo one more time. Let's just take the roll shot, make a new composition with it. Now we're going to run a script from Skybox Metal. It's scripts. And we're going to look for something called skybox extractor. All right, so extract skybox. Okay, so now what has happened is that Skybox has created several planes. So I'll show you with a different camera what it looks like. So it has created a cube, but this time it's in 3D space. So, and the reason why it's in 3D space is so that you can add 3D elements in it and make it interact with the scene without it going into the square issue we had earlier on. So let's just create another hello, just for the project's sake. So we go back to the active camera. Hello, again. You know, I'll just change the color so that you guys can see a bit more clearly. Yeah, it didn't help. Yeah, pink hello. Right? And what we're going to do with the hello layer is we're going to make it a 3D layer. And in After Effects, when you press this button, the layer becomes 3D. So we click it, and it's gone. But if we go in one of the custom views, you're going to see that if we rotate, hello is right behind the main camera. So we're going to have to move. Whoops. Hello. So if we look at the main camera, change it here, you can see that hello is popping up. So what we're going to do now is we're going to animate the same way we did earlier on, from left to right, but we're going to see what's going to happen. All right, it's going from left to right, but now let's combine the whole scene and see what happens when we look through it for the 360 view. All right. I just need to find the composition. A lot of compositions here. I gotta run another script. Called the Skybox Creator. So we're gonna refresh the Skybox edit. Well, let's generate a Skybox output. As you can see, hello is being animated from left to right. Let's go a bit further. And the reason why it's disappearing is because the actual scene is a cubic scene. So you're going to have to rotate the thing inside so it doesn't hit the borders and disappears in the other images. So if we go back to our main, the scene we extracted, and we go in custom view, we're going to see that it borders out. See that? So it actually goes out of the square. So you're going to need to be a bit tricky in the sense that you can move your positional point diagonally, and if we put a middle point like around here, you're going to get a curve. So just for fun, let's just add a small rotation on the text. All right. Here we go. And I'm just going to rotate this. Yeah, the anchor point isn't quite. All right, there we go. Keyframe. Right. Great. So let's just double check if it has gone out of a box when we have animated, and which it has. So we have to fix that. All right. Sorry? No, it will go, because what happens is that this is actually a 3D scene, right? So the software has taken the box, it will wrap it, but when it goes out of the box, it's out of the scene, out of a camera scene, so that's why it disappears. So you have to be careful to animate within the scene. But this technique is only on real footage. On digital footage, you don't have to worry about that, which I'm going to talk about very soon. So let's see this. It's twirling around in our fancy box. And we go to this scene, and what we're going to do now is we're going to refresh the skybox. Right. So let's just double check. Yeah. So now we have to put a camera to see what's actually going on. So we're going to pre-compose the scene one more time. Hello, scene. Make sure that there's nothing here. And we apply the viewer. Right? And we apply a camera. 15 millimeter. And now let's check what happens. And you have the impression that this hello thing is actually moving in the 360 scene. Right, so this is how you add 2D graphics inside a 360 shot without unwarping or having some issues with the warp. But now let's do something different. Let's create a whole scene digitally, and let's see what happens. So now I'm going to create a completely new project. But before I move on, any questions? You have great questions. Any questions? All right, so let's move on to the next scene, which is creating a digital scene, fully digital. So I'm just going to create a new project. All right. So I'm going to start with a composition of 4096, 4096, which is 4K. Right. So I'm just going to make a solid here. And we're going to apply the Skybox script this time, and we're going to create a scene. So this is called the Skybox Creator. So what I can do, since I've created a composition of 4096, 4096, I'll create a Skybox from current composition. So I'll tick 3D null camera control. That means I get 6 cameras, and I can control all the 6 cameras with a null. The null object is an object that doesn't have any value, but you can connect cameras to it, which is very, very useful. So let's create the Skybox output. Great. So this is the output. So first thing we're going to do to make it more, because now, since we took 4096 as our composition, it has created 4096 6 times. So the size is humongous. So what we're going to do first is we're going to make the main comp into 4096 total, so that we save some resources. So now the whole composition is smaller. So what we're going to do now, because this is the scene, right? Like you saw earlier on, it was cubic, and technically those are actually 6 cameras. And as you can see now, what the software has done, it has created 6 cameras, front, right, back, left, top, bottom. So this means that we can put any 3D object in that scene, and it's going to fit in the 360 shot. So what we're going to use now is 3D element, Anyone here has experience with 3D Element? A bit. So we're just gonna apply it. So we make just make this one. This is from Video Copilot. Yeah. It runs through your GPU instead of your CPU. Great. Let's set up the scene. And I'm just gonna add types of objects. Well, it would be fun to, if you guys have any ideas, I mean, you pick what should I add in the scene, because there are a lot of objects here. You decide. Sorry? What? End? Oh, okay. I am so sorry. So let's just go. I thought grills would be interesting because we could go inside the grill and kind of like let's take something more fancy like this, for example. We add one more. Yeah, let's just add one more, just for the sake of fun. All right. So. Great. So now we're seeing the master camera, which is the front camera. So if we change the cameras like we usually did, this is the front, this is the right. So let's go on the active camera. Let's go on the custom view just to see. So this is, yeah, as you see, this is the master camera. So it's sideways in our scene, right? So let's rotate the master camera so that we start in a right position. So we'll just rotate it on the y-axis. And oh yeah, we could always move this one. All right. But I think we should make the grill slightly bigger so that we can go into something. So we're just gonna press the particle look, make this bigger. Let's just see the front camera just one more time. And yeah, guess what? We're inside the grill. So let's animate. I suggest that we animate from back to front. We go into the grill and make it awesome. Okay, cool. So, all right. This is going to be interesting. So we keyframe the position and the XYZ just in case. And let's take 10 seconds, all right? And that wasn't it. That's it. We should maybe actually make it longer than 10 seconds. Okay, great. Let's see. This is from the front camera. This is what it looks like. Okay. So here we have the skybox output, and we have to refresh the scene. So let's refresh the skybox. And this is what it looks like. It's round. And we're going to use the view camera to see what we're up to. Making a new composition, right? Now we add the effect like we usually do. You take the viewer and you add a camera. All right, as you can see, we're inside the grill. So let's RAM preview this a bit. Might take a bit of time, so I can take some questions while this is rendering a bit. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot. Yeah.
The file format
Yeah.
for 3D, is that still Vector contained?
Yeah, well, yeah, inside After Effects, the actual 3D file is an OBG or a 3D file. But when you export the video is an MPEG-4. And I can, if we have, because yeah, I have like 30 minutes left, so I can teach you how to make this ready for YouTube when this is done rendering. You're also probably wondering how to film 360. How do you do that? And the solution, like the Visit Oslo thing we created way back, was 2 cameras with 250 degrees lenses. These were actually Kodaks, 2 Kodaks, and yeah, 250 degrees, 250 degrees. Another rig we have is, we're actually working with a company called Adapa in Oslo. They have the rigs. But 250, 250 with GoPros, lenses. Just come over and I'll show you. But you don't need a 360 camera or a special lens. You can just use a normal camera. And I took a small test earlier on today to try and take a 360 shot of the gathering with only 1 camera. And this is, as you can see, yeah, it's a full pano of the gathering. This was done with a DSLR, just taking pictures every 45 degrees. So I took 8 pictures. Unfortunately, I didn't finish the top and bottom, so right now they're just black. But you know, when I have more time, I'll do it. So it's possible to take 360 video and 360 pictures by just taking 1 camera. But you know, it takes more time. You also have to stitch it. Right. So okay, so let's just go through this. Right. This looks smooth. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to render it out to get to be able to really play around with it. So yeah, I'll show you the rendering process so you can go from 360 right to YouTube. So let's make a solid. Let's make it yellow, just to have some kind of background with the gray. Maybe blue. Let's see. Yeah, this is just for demonstrational purposes. Yeah. All right. So the way you're gonna export this is you're gonna have to find, if you remove the viewer. Just remove the viewer. Be damned. Right. Yeah. That's why this it was correct. It was just we weren't inside yet. All right. So I'm just gonna render this out real quick. And the format I render it out in is actually PNG, and I'll explain quickly as to why I do this. So, all right, so let's export this scene, demonstration purposes. Right. Just gonna save it in case it crashes. All right. Okay, so let's export this scene. So we go, we add to the render queue. You go to the lossless and you choose a PNG sequence. Right? So TG lecture, 360 production, the 360 test. Right? And save it, and let's render it. Yeah, it might take some time, but yeah. So I'll just prepare. So I render it out in PNGs, and the reason for this is because this is it's a heavy format, and your computer can easily crash. So the best way to do this is you render out in PNGs, and if it crashes, you just continue on the frame it stopped at. and you continue rendering. Yeah, so that's just in case of crashes. So we're just going to wait for this to hurry up, and I'm going to put this through Premiere or Media Encoder to export it as an MP4. And then I'll show you how to add metadata to it, because to make it compatible with Facebook and YouTube, you have to add a metadata to it to explain to YouTube that this is spherical, this is not stereoscopic, it's 2D. And that's actually a very simple step. Right, it's soon done rendering. Yeah, I actually have a couple of minutes, so I could probably just run and get a USB cable and add it into the gear if someone wants to try out the scene, see what it's like. Does anyone have a cable for a mobile phone? For Samsung? Yeah, because the best result is actually in the glasses. Definitely. Oh, yeah, he has a cable. Great. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Anyone here has a gear? No? You should get. Definitely. You should definitely get one. I know that the gathering, they have some Google Cardboards that they're going to hand out at some point. So yeah, I mean, you can try out 360 and stereoscopic. Oh, thank you. I got 2 cables. Great. All right, so the render's soon done. It's like 6 seconds of video, but you know, it's still something. So let's just open up Media Encoder. No, that's not going to work. We're going to have to go for Premiere Pro, fortunately. Oh, there it exists. Okay. Yeah, okay, so it has been rendered. So let's just open up the PNGs. No, we have to create a new project. All right, so we import the files. So let's go to the TG lectures, 360 production test. And here's the shot. So you have to tick image sequence when you do this. And you drag this over. There you go, you got the, see, it's very power hungry. So let's just render this out real quick. Usually render in and out. All right. Right, it looks kind of trippy when you look at it on a 2D perspective. So just to make the scene longer, because you know, render time, I'm just gonna do a small trick. So I'm just gonna reverse this shot. So reverse speed. So yeah. So now I'm just gonna add one more frame just to make it even longer. Make it more effective. All right. Okay. Right. Okay, so now we got the 360 shot. It's over 10 seconds, so that's gonna be enough for the gear. So now it's time to export it into the MP4 format you were wondering. So you can go for match source high bitrate. That's good enough, but you should increase this one to at least 20, right? And double check. This has to be 4096 248. That's important, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna export the MP4. Just export it here. TG test 1. And we're ready to export. Thanks for the cable. I'm just gonna add it into my Samsung. Now, and to make Samsung understand that this is a 360 video, Samsung has done it actually very, very simple. You find the file. Sorry, give me a second. There's so much. So 360 production. Yeah, there we go. Here's the TG test. So all you have to do is you have to rename it to 3DV, right? And you open up your Samsung. Here's the Samsung. Right, and what you have to do now is you have to find the Oculus folder. And you have to make a folder called 360 videos. That's important. So let's test this. Let's put it here. No, just copy. Now that's for preparing it for Samsung. Real quick, if you're going to do it for YouTube or Facebook or anything like that, you have to download a software called 360 Video Metadata Tool. You can Google it. Google has created the tool. So what this does, I'm just going to run this real quick. I open up the video. I find the video. So here's the thing I created for Samsung. I open it, and no metadata is found. So what you're going to do is you're going to tick off spherical. You do not tick off 3D top bottom because it's not a stereoscopic shot. It's 2D. And you just save as. And yeah, it creates, it's called injected. Okay. And that's it. That file is now ready for YouTube and Facebook. But okay, let's have some fun with the phone. We've transferred it on the gear. Who wants to volunteer to check out the shot? You seem interested. You want to volunteer? Yeah? So yeah. And you can try, I know you're interested. It's your cable. All right, so I'm just gonna, have you used the gear earlier? Never. No? Okay, so I'm just gonna find the video file for you first. It has to load up. It's soon ready. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so what you're gonna have to do, same as I told him, you put on the glasses, it turns on, and you're gonna see a play button. You look at the play button. When you're looking at it, you press this button on the side. Just tap it. You have to look at the play button.
Oh yeah, but there's oh yeah.
Now you can just look around. Are you in the scene?
Yep.
Okay, great. That's a thumbs up. All right, so you're up. I'm just gonna find the file. It's gonna be quicker now. All right. Okay. So big thanks to Metal Skybox, the plugin I use. So do check that because that is absolutely awesome for 360 editing in After Effects and Premiere Pro. So who's next? If you any questions, yeah, please feel free. So you, yeah, I'll. All right.
Just tap on the side.
Oh, whoa, oh, sorry. Yeah, just look at it and look at the resume button. Yeah?
That's cool for the demo. Thanks.
So I'm actually done with the demo, but you know, I'm still here. If you have any questions about 360, you know, stereoscopic 360 is also one field I'm working on, and virtual reality. So any questions? No. No questions. Okay. Thank you for having me.